order if we. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we recording?
We are. Okay, we will begin with our consent agenda. The questions on the minutes from the previous meeting. Warrants. The updated warrants were emailed.
The only question I had on the warrants, I just saw like 4 or 5 lines of cleaning supplies. Are we buying extra? I know we have a new kind of custodial staff and everything. I was just wondering mostly what that was about.
Can I take that one?
Please.
Okay, so upon new hire, new way of conducting business, it came to light that some different and or new supplies would be necessary.
Okay.
So I said, within reason, I want you to get what you need to make this clean and do your job well and efficiently. And so it's not going to be a monthly new
Okay.
addition, but
I was mostly just curious, like I figured it was like, hey, we have a new person, they prefer their own stuff and. So, okay. That's the only question I had on it.
Was 2 lines for fifth grade and sign party. I'm just wondering why the 2 charges instead of just 1.
They might be coded different, or if they have a different credit card number, they would
Oh.
be different.
Okay.
so I know I bought some things for that party and Mr. Jenks probably
Oh,
used
that's
the
how there would be
office
2 lines.
credit card for 2.
That makes sense. I think that.
One event.
Yeah.
Septic pump, did we need a new pump or did we get it pumped?
We got it pumped.
Got it pumped.
So, yes.
Any comments on how we're holding up? Yes.
Well, they sent 2 trucks. We needed 3, so they had to come back. So we will be getting back on the annual summer plan. So we needed to do it. And so we will be doing it again this summer, just so we can get back on that plan, even though it will be kind of ahead of when we need to, but I just like to do that when kids are not here and most kids are not here.
No problems or no concerns from them?
Mm-mm,
No.
just the amount.
Yes.
Nothing extra to that, which was nice. And then anyone that's coming, I'm asking to like draw out what is happening. So we have little plans of all the things and they're taking better notes in what they're bringing back to their office. So everybody knows everything that's happening and not like in person, we talked about it, like everything's gonna start being in writing with all those contracted workers.
And then Chromebooks out. How many?
We got 30. So we actually got in on a Black Friday deal in January, which was cool. And that is, so we have 5 sets and no, that's not true. We have 5 complete sets that are kind of doled out everywhere. All of them are going to need to be at the same time. So we have to start spreading out when we're buying these things. And with that great deal, and we had money from the small rural schools.
Yeah, we have
Fund.
a grant that we got from it's called SRS Small Rural Schools. And it was coming to an end at the end of this month.
Oh,
And so we needed to spend it.
Which happened to be like $100 more than what all these Chromebooks were. So it felt serendipitous to go for.
The grant is tied to kind of like the title program. And so since we're a title-wide school, I think it was a eligible purchase.
so those will just go into our inventory now thing that we have.
They actually arrived yesterday. Yeah. And so Haley's inputting them into our inventory and then, I don't want to say where we're going to put them yet, because I think everyone would be really excited, but it's not gonna be a lottery, it's gonna be mindfully placed somewhere, but I'm not ready to announce that.
I see no transportation contracts. We do have some JV approvals.
We have one JV approval every 3-4 months. The revenue from our after-school snack program has to go into the lunch fund, just the way OPI is accounting. So, quarterly, I have to manually take the snack revenue out and put it back into the after-school program. So that's what that is. We had 3 cents left in our 2025 grant. And so we have to zero that out. So that was a JV for 3 cents.
Counting's a thing.
I think that's it. Yep, that is it.
We have no other district agreements.
Mhm.
If I could get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to our student report.
Where you guys gonna see it?
Right behind you, so they're on camera.
Perfect.
First one, Avon and I make good.
What?
Girls basketball officially started on Monday. There are 19 players. 5-6 has 12 and 7-8 has 7. The first game is on the 22nd, 22nd at Swansea.
So they have a good season. So, and we will also be hosting, our student leadership team will also be hosting a family dance, which will be pretty fun. The dance has a glow theme. We'll be offering face painting, pizza concessions, all that. We hope to see a lot of families, some returning faces, new faces, all that. I have one more thing, and we're doing a January awareness of PAWS. PAWS stands for Practice, Respect, Act Responsibly, Work Hard and Wonder, and Stay Safe. Which our January focus is practice respect, practice respect, using kind words, act responsibly, picking up after yourself, work hard and wonder, turning in all your work, and staying safe and keeping your hands to yourselves. So that's everything January that we have right now.
Nice. Is the community dance or the family dance, is that open to the community or only private school families?
I believe it's only Catholic schools.
Okay.
We don't know how big it might be, because this will
Yes.
be our hopefully first and then
Perfect.
annual, but hopefully it could expand a bit.
Sure. Nice.
That's all we have.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rita. Thanks, Bristol.
You guys gonna DJ for that?
DJ Count
Is
in the
that-
house.
Is that still a thing? You guys?
DJ
I
Count.
am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Good.
I've done it before. I gave it up, though. I don't like staying up till 2 AM. Mm-mm.
Guest comments. Members of the public are encouraged to comment during this time regarding items not listed on the agenda. Chair will seek public comments on agenda items as they occur. By law, the board cannot take action on matters discussed during the public comment portion of the meeting, but may include a matter raised during this time on a future agenda. The board would like to remind everyone to avoid commenting on private personnel matters, private student matters, and pending legal matters. Do we have any public comments?
So I'm Mary Eli and a middle school teacher and athletic director here at Kyla, and something we were able to add to our pregame routine. We have a student that plays piano, and so he played the national anthem instead of having it recorded. And so he agreed to continue for our girls' basketball season. So it's really cool to have that student shine in that moment. So that's been pretty neat. So you should come and see it. It's pretty amazing.
Will he let us record it and put it online?
You just don't tell him.
Starting with Lola. I know where you're looking at him. No.
Yeah, he has his own YouTube channel, so,
I'll ask him.
yeah, we'll ask for sure. Yeah,
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Viral and monetize.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry.
How are we gonna get started?
Yes. Any other guest comments? All right, thank you. We are moving to action item A. I'm just gonna shorten it up and say retro pay for a teacher. Oh, would you care to talk about it before we talk about it? Would that be best? To kind of introduce the details and
Well, I can.
then we can deliberate or.
Sure.
Okay.
But I don't know, yeah, there's deliberation needed. So I was scheduled to move over for whatever, my intent, is that what it's called? The thing to intent to come back or whatever, our contract. And I had half of the credit or half of my credits were there when they were supposed to be. And when I turned them in, I let Sharon know that the other half were on their way, like they were done, and I was just waiting for the university to send them, and she said that'd be fine, we were just retro paying December. And then when they got here, that it was said that I wouldn't go over till next school year. So then I brought it to this KTA, and they, passed 14-1 within a few hours to do that retro pay, as it was already like budgeted for that. And even though it was, those, the last 5 credits came in later than they were supposed to, the course was finished and stuff, I was just waiting for the university to get that to me. So that was that. I don't know what else.
When was the course completed?
It was completed in October, like I finished it in October.
So it was, I'm wondering, was it just too tight of a timeline? Like you finished and then they just simply like they were not gonna get you that transfer?
Yeah, yeah, that would be my assumption. Because it took them a couple weeks. And then we had the Thanksgiving break and that's when I saw I brought them in right when we got back from Thanksgiving break.
When you say that, the move up was budgeted, so we didn't have it in the contract, right?
What do you mean?
You said it was already planned for in the budget
Mhm. I did the intent to move over. It was already
in our
planned for.
negotiations when we.
I don't know, her specific contract was for where she stood, there was a note on it. If you are moving over, the contract will be adjusted when the transcripts are turned into the office. Transcripts are due by November 1st. And then it just says pending BA plus 30. So that was the what's in your board packet was the official signed contract.
Mhm.
If that.
Do we have funds set aside for that? Did we set funds?
It was budgeted, yes.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, in the spring, I'll put out a thing saying if, so we can budget, do you plan on moving over? And if you're pretty sure you are, then we can budget for it. And then when they turn in transcripts, then we just issue a corrected contract.
And it is worth noting that in the past, a teacher has come after the deadline and it has been denied.
Is that teacher stuff?
Yes. And that's just that whole thing, like if you're gonna put it in writing, because their certified bargaining says November 1st is your cutoff. That's the only reason this is coming to the board.
Right.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And then yeah. So your board packet included the communications back and forth, the certified bargaining agreement where.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I guess that's the sticking point that kind of makes this tough, is that there's a date that it's supposed to be by. My understanding is the class was completed in October, and through basically no fault of your own, it wasn't your time. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I was just, yeah.
We were waiting for the
Mhm.
university, like the intent may have been there to have it turned in on time. So. I don't know, this is kind of a sticky one.
That's because we don't know. You're in a situation of the last one, my last one was the same situation. I believe that the transcript and time.
How late was that one in?
Yeah, and it didn't come before the board. So that one was just directly to Sharon. Sharon said your CBA says as follows, and that staff member just accepted the writing. It never came to the board. There was no agreement, there was no board discussion. So, don't know that that's apples to apples, just wanted to make sure to throw that out there.
I just followed the CPA and followed past practice,
Yeah,
so.
I think it's tough. I think it makes it tough because really moving forward, not just this policy, but any policy. As that's grounds for like you do it for one, you have to do it for all, or you don't do it for one, you don't do it for any.
Yeah, it's precedent setting.
Yeah.
and the board always has to look at the broader picture of like, well, what if it's 5 teachers? Would we have that in the budget? And that's kind of why it's come to the board, because those are the bigger pieces of it. Abe, you look like you're thinking something, sir.
Another I mean, you have to consider it. I mean, it was budgeted for, but another thing is the past employee who was denied. Could they then file a grievance saying, I want back wages for the year? Then could they go to the KTA and ask for it? That's something to consider.
For all of the years since they were denied.
Yeah.
Right.
Was theirs budgeted for? Is there something intent to move over?
Those budgets are closed out though. It wouldn't matter. I mean, yeah.
I just
budgeted.
mean like they had done the intent to move over and then, yeah.
Does it get a little sticky too? I don't know if legality is the right word. Of, something could be. I don't know what the right word would be, favoritism or whatever, like the reason why we did it.
And that's always, this is the hardest part of being on a board, is you have to consider all their ends. That's why, like, hey, even when we're considering not a district student, the way we stick to what's written is because, right?
Right.
Because we don't wanna open the district up. We're kind of the guardians of this board, the district, even if it hurts, we just want to do it. We just want to say. So that's the reason this is being brought to the board.
What happened with the past employee too was, so it was denied. And then she went ahead and got 10 more credits. So in their contract, they are allowed to do a one-time 2-lane step move over. And so that's what happened with the CPA.
The following school year.
The following school year.
Yeah. She's at.
Yeah, she went basically up 20 credits. Usually you go up 10, you went 20.
My concern would be, we have multiple places for multiple things that have deadlines.
Yep.
Including you want to track your child, you want to renew for next year, you're out of district,
Yes.
here's all your deadlines. If we are not holding people to the deadlines,
We shouldn't put it in writing.
we shouldn't have the deadline.
Yeah, you shouldn't have the deadline. Yep.
I mean, that's my concern.
Yep.
Is this the type of situation where this wouldn't affect this particular issue, but if this happened next year and say it's the same situation, is this the type of thing where we should move that date?
I was just,
Or you
sorry,
can put the class
the KTA was talking about finding out why the date is November 1st, like what purpose that is, and we had talked about possibly, well, first of all, finding out what it is, if there's some kind of reason it's November 1st.
And that would be part of negotiations, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
are these,
I'll have to go back years and look and see. And there's also the thing, well, if you change the date, say to December, okay, technically September, October, you're still working on your degree. You do not have those credits. Should you get paid for those credits if you do not have that degree yet?
Right. So we retro pay it, back to the school year, but technically at that time you weren't.
You didn't have those
you
credits.
didn't have it, so you're not qualified. level.
I think November gave them a leeway for anything they did for the summer, so.
Is this like, are these credits available through like an online program where you just kind of take it at your own pace or?
They could all be different, it doesn't,
So
to
it-
know
it's
where,
kind of a free for all, and it's just random, and you get the credits when you get the credits at the classes now.
depending on what accredited university system you go through.
So the class could start in May, or it could start in July. You just don't know. Okay, I'm just trying to understand how it all works a little bit. I don't know.
Because we're not, yeah.
Yeah, every year it starts in August and every year it completes in October, then we're gonna run into this every year.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to
Yes,
kind
I
of
see
flesh
what you're-
out, like,
yeah.
see if that's the issue we're running into.
If it helps at all, in 9 years on the board, I've never seen this, if that helps at all. This is, it's not a recurring issue.
Sure.
My concern would be that the previous teacher didn't know that this was an option, like, to take it to the board. So I'm going to speak for myself, but I think after everything we've been through for the last 2 years, my gut is to say no and to protect ourselves only because of what we've done with them in this couple of years. I think it's
So, curious, so you took some classes and some credits and you're trying to get some retro pay for the costs of all of that, correct? Is that what I'm understanding?
It's an increase in
An
salary
increase in base, okay,
for the whole year,
okay.
because she moves up the lane.
And because it wasn't turned in by November first, will she be able to do that
Next year,
next year?
yes,
Okay.
2 years, she'll be able to step up to,
Okay.
if she hasn't done that
Because like,
before.
in the end, I'd hate for anybody to lose that opportunity just because like the university or the college or the course, whatever, just didn't get you the credits
Exactly.
soon enough, right? And gosh, man, this is one of those situations where I would love to have a deadline with a grace period, you know, like if everything was, all your ducks are lined up and you went through the process and you submitted your intent and you got the grades and the course completed beforehand and it was through no fault of your own that somebody else didn't get you the documents you needed in time. I would love there to be a grace period, but does that open us up?
Not if it's in the CBA.
Yeah, if the CBA were changed for the future to either allow for a grace period or understanding that like. Knowing when the course has ended, right, like.
Maybe you
that
provide
qualifies
proof
the
before
person.
November 1st, you've completed the course.
Yeah, and then.
And a lot of
You have the unofficial transcript.
Yes.
It's posted online depending on where
Maybe
you
that's
go,
something to think
as a
about.
placeholder.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
That would be
we
nice.
can, something flesh it out in negotiation.
Right.
Unfortunately, it doesn't help right now, but that's.
Yeah, it doesn't help this situation, but we're dealing with this situation, but it could happen in the future, so we should try to fix it for the future too. So we're kind of talking about both. Of them right now. Yes.
Have we consulted, Montana School Board Association at all regarding?
No, I'm fairly certain they would say follow your CPA. Yeah,
That's what I was
I think that's pretty much understandable that if we took the time to put it, whoever took the time to put it in writing 15 years ago or whatever it was, and it hasn't been changed, and it's also been agreed upon every year by the board and the KTA, year after year after year. You know me, if it's in writing, I say we follow it.
Yeah.
That's just, that protects the district, that makes for good decisions, it keeps the emotion out of it.
Yes.
And it's consistent.
And it's consistent.
In your years that you've been here, has this ever gone to the board?
I don't know why it went to the board, I guess. I mean, the KTA approved it and then,
Because your CBA is an agreement between the KTA and the board, so you can't go against it unless both parties agree.
okay.
Yeah.
Why did the KTA agree? Approve it?
Sorry,
Why did the KTA approve it?
They just They all did, all but one member is
That's not unusual.
No.
No, it's not unusual for a request to, I mean, not necessarily just here, but in general for a request to change for one circumstances, language within the contract.
And forgive me, I just like asking a bunch of questions because sometimes it's just the angle, like. If they approved it, are we missing something that like we can approve it and under the same reasoning? Kind of thing?
We can approve it and then you can deal with any teacher that comes back and says they were denied because of the date.
Okay.
And they don't have to go through the PTA for that. They can.
And,
Can be
and this goes
filed.
both directions where we've made proposals to the KTA and they said no.
So the teacher that was denied, if it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We're responsible for retro pay from here to 10 years ago.
Even if they moved up the following year, because like you said, they did, right?
They went to, oh, sorry.
They double move the next year, so it would technically be the 1 year that we would be responsible for, but if they would not have, then yes, you're correct.
And if you had interest on the record.
That is a huge problem to walk into.
It's
That is not in our
potentially a very large. And I have no clue what the impact of that would be. I don't know how many people were in that situation.
Yeah.
In past years. What was that?
My fidget tool.
The board's comfortable moving forward. I would like to deny the request for retro pay.
I'm comfortable with that only because it's in writing. And we need to follow what's in writing because it protects the school and the school's budget. I would like to see it in negotiations to have some kind of flexibility. Because I'm a big believer in paying people for both the education level they've attained and the work they do.
Even when they work outside of their work calendar. Yes, we're really big on wanting to pay them.
Yes.
Yes, like I don't see how we can in good faith approve it. But I still want there to be some kind of mechanism to. That's it.
The
That-
course
that's-
was completed by November 1st, with 45 days period to a year.
Yeah, whatever the language ends up being, but that's along the lines of what I'm saying. Because I don't like someone being. Having attained this level and having.
Yep.
Right, I don't like that. So I'm not sure if you guys in that. Yeah. But we still have to follow. What's in that? What's in that?
And the other piece of it is, if I have a healthcare background, well, like research with some healthcare is. For us, we've always wanted to see you completed before you went into the role. Not within X amount of time we're going into it. So ideally, the courses would be completed before the school year starts, even if they have the transcripts to. Give them, but
Yeah,
again,
we
it would be a
We
negotiation.
can parse that out, try to get a better understanding of
Yeah.
how that goes for teachers.
Yeah,
We'll ask
Not-
good questions.
it's not as clear on the
Yeah,
education side of things.
Yeah.
So then next year, when you go up, right, we retro pay this last year, or did we start?
No, it would be effective the 26th.
But she would go up 2 steps instead of 1.
Assuming more education, a higher
No,
education.
Only if we got
If
more
I
credits.
took more
If you got
classes,
more,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's-
and I thought you
that's-
said that was your intent.
I will see.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm sorry, I thought you said that was your, when she said the teacher went up 2 steps, you said that's what I.
well, I probably will. I
Yeah.
haven't taken the classes yet.
Yeah,
So
so
I
she
mean,
could go up 2 steps, or else
or else.
the
go up.
next step will start next school year.
All right, I will take a motion to, were you gonna say something?
No,
Sorry.
no.
Okay. I know, it's tough, it's,
It's tough.
The head and the heart compete on these types.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will take a motion to deny retro pay.
I will make a motion to deny the retro pay.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, guys. I know those are really hard ones.
Was that a yes or a no?
No, no, I get it. I'm with I.
We do not have any out of district agreements to consider at this time, so motion to, I would ask for a motion to strike.
I'll make a motion to strike action item B.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are moving on to Flathead County Election Department for 2027.
So this is the deadline for next year, to ask the county election department to hold on our election.
Any questions?
I want to go. Second.
Take your time.
So we're responsible for providing a ballot drop location at our district, right? Was that something we've done in the past?
We have a ballot drop,
We
yeah.
have a ballot drop. okay.
But what they're trying to do is get away from that, because in order to transport a ballot from our school to the election department, you have to have two.
Yeah,
So they're trying to say everything's mail ballot, and we would prefer you drop it off there.
okay. So, but are we still bound to, it's under number 5, the district agrees to be open to the public on election day from 7 AM to 8 PM? Are we bound to that? Do we need to have?
I don't know.
So if we're trying to,
Yeah, because it says to dropping off their ballots.
I guess I see two different versions of the language. One says we want to go to all mail-in ballot, but the second one says we need someone here until 8 o'clock and then we need 2 people to transfer the ballots.
And it would be 2 election judges.
Yes.
When is that MOA due?
I think I might be a little early with it, but
Did you?
I'm not sure.
I just don't want to get us in a pitfall with it.
What we can do is, they're being really good with us.
Yeah.
I can ask that we can table it. I can question number 5. And was it number 4? I'll question those two and see what their clarification on that is.
Do we have a due date for this? It's for the next school year, so.
Yeah, we should be good. We haven't gotten through this one yet.
Okay.
I think it's March, so it'll probably be on February.
Okay.
I just like get things going.
Yeah. No, that's perfectly fine. I just see 2 different versions of language and that's just, and I just want to be clear on what we.
And if nothing else, get them taken out.
Yeah,
Okay.
and mail ballots are probably preferable. So,
Yeah, everything gets mailed. Technically, it's supposed to get mailed back, but some people don't especially not don't trust mail.
I've been involved in all this conversation.
There. Anyway, so yeah, I'll get clarification as to the.
Okay, so if I could get a motion to table the MOA for the Flathead County Election Department until we receive some clarification.
I will make the motion to table the MOA.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to the emergency, are we actually gonna talk about the emergency procedure?
We're gonna talk about not talking about it for a while until we need to put it back on the agenda. So my recommendation would be to strike it from the agenda at this time until we can bring it done, complete to
and you have a
propose
committee meeting, is that the one next week? Next week, Thursday.
the 22nd.
Yeah.
When you table something, it comes up again the next month. When you strike it, it's off the agenda until it gets brought up again.
And we're more than just February meeting out on this one. Is we can rush it and I can get it too, but I would it irks me every time we have to just table it, so I would rather just strike it and put it on when we're ready to go.
Okay. If I could get a motion to strike the emergency procedure manual from the agenda.
I'll make a motion to strike the emergency procedure manual. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Believe it or not, those were our action items.
That is the shortest action item. That's it.
All right, information items, follow-up discussion from prior meetings, we had none. We are going to move on to resignation of Shane Nelson. Would you care to comment on that? Nope, we're just recognizing that we did in fact hire, Mr. Nelson, and he did choose to resign, and we're hang on from there. We do still have a 0.6.
We floated it as a 0.4 to a 0.6, so we would need a 0.4 to finish the other portion of the custodial duties. If they do have like a maintenance background, we could open it to up to a 0.6 then and still be non-restricting in our budget.
But we do currently have employed a 0.6 custodian, is that?
0.5.
0.5?
Mhm.
So just so everyone's aware, we do a 0.5.
So ultimately, then we could have a 0.9 to a 1.1 FTE for custodial, but then it would be custodial / maintenance.
Do we have an ad out?
Mhm.
Does that? Okay.
We had an interest.
You guys are like taking up my whole principal.
Maybe we should let you go first.
I'm gonna move on to the principal's report.
Is that it? Great. Can you wait 2 minutes?
Standing over here so I can see what you're doing.
You'll see in just a second.
Technology issue for them.
This is probably a
I
late
thought the
issue.
Christmas program was amazing.
I thought it was wonderful.
Abe should have opened the door that he was standing next to a little sooner, it wouldn't have gotten in.
Oh, yeah. I looked over and I went, hey, you know, the door.
I actually texted you and said that was a very good choice. I was just sitting right.
It's just not fast enough, apparently.
It was just hot. I mean,
Yeah, it's such a huge turnout.
whenever you have that meeting in the building, it's gonna get one, doesn't matter.
We were so sad. We got out down late, we drove by right as it was.
Very excited that I'm wearing the same dress on, same colors.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
You're right.
Christmas program. It was the highest turnout rate that I've ever seen in family participation rate. Miss Counts had a K-5 music program, cheer, and then our 6, 8 in guitar elective were there. There was a Santa. Lots of fun. It was very professional and lots of positive comments that I've heard since. And then just shout out to you, Tika, for an amazing performance. I love
Anytime next year.
And the sound system is awesome.
they lots of people love that it isn't it's like kids, you know, it's not everyone's nervous to do something wrong or whatever. It's like the kids are just themselves on stage, and that's what I've heard. Do you want to add anything, Tika?
No, I do get that comment a lot on how the kids, well, there's a few kids, you're like, you're up there, but, you know, most of them are pretty confident, we practice, and I feel like it's just that my vibes, I make them very comfortable to be themselves and to have fun and explore when we're doing this, and so I think that really shows when we are there and we're doing a performance, so. Mhm. I have fun doing it. It is stressful though. I'll admit that, but it's a lot of planning, careful planning. I'm already starting for next year, this year. And I do that. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think the next day you were in asking what themes we thought.
The next.
Mhm.
That's why they're so great.
And I need things, and so if I have the plan, I can collect the things that I need, way far in advance than like last minute, you know. It's another reason I do it, but.
But you can
Careful
tell.
planning, I write the whole thing myself. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't buy a book and just go off a book or somebody else's program. I say, this is what I want and how it to look. Even, you know, even the little skits, so it's fun though. I like it, and the kids love it, and every year is an adventure.
It was super cute, and I heard a lot of people commenting on how the cougar got dressed up.
Yeah.
Oh, the actual.
The actual.
Factory one, yeah, cause I put him in a cowboy hat, he's roasting a marshmallow, cause it was a cowboy Christmas, but yeah.
I just need to remember to get here earlier.
The parking, yeah.
The
And the
parking
seating.
and the seating, it's like,
Mhm.
we need to be here an extra like 30 minutes.
So I tell people.
Or pass the bond and get a bigger gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a labor.
6, 7.
Oh, man.
Now it's 4-1 good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is better. Mhm.
So it is a labor of love and we are super appreciative. The community is appreciative too. I mean, some community members did show up without kids, which was nice to see and yeah. Upcoming events, just to, cause you guys can't see our shared interior calendar, but we're almost halfway through the school year, so that's the 23rd of January. I will be out of the building the 25th through the 27th, which is only actually 2 school days. For the Montana Statewide Principal Conference in Bozeman. The Lions Club, it's actually the Sunriser Lions Club. Shout out to them because my Papa English is Papa Richmond is in that club, but they donate their time and they've bought all the equipment and they come do that vision screening for free. That's an opt-out type event, but it does provide lots of kids that wouldn't get a vision screening that opportunity in-house on the 29th. And then our wonderful student leadership team already talked about the glow party. But we're hoping that lots of families come and then the families are in the gym all together. So it could be a daddy-daughter dance or whatever in the middle of all of it. But yeah, you give Tika and the student leadership team an event and it just gets awesome. So there's gonna be neon face painting and glow sticks and concessions and spread the word and you're all welcome to come to that. But you're part of our community and Cougar fam. So mark your calendars.
I did about some. They're probably at my house right now. If I shipped it home, it comes about 3 days sooner than if I shipped it here.
Yeah.
So I'll just go in my car and bring it. But I saw some things were delivered, so they said they're 400 watt, which I'm hoping is strong enough. I have 4 of them, so we'll see. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna try them out with black light. And PE classes.
We're gonna do 5:30 because we are doing dinner. You can buy pizza there. So families can come anytime between, and then we're gonna end at 7. So the 2-hour long middle school dances do seem a bit long, and so if there's a ton of people, which we're hoping for, but an hour and a half will be sufficient for our first toe dip into the family dance pool. Yeah.
We'll keep it as long as the roads are driving.
I wanted to give you guys just an overview kind of what our middle school is doing for electives and extensions. So we have talked about it, but I think lots of times our small schools don't get credit for the opportunities that we do provide our students. So you can see.
Went off the screen.
Love technology.
Yeah. Spent my whole day on Zoom.
I break it, I can fix it.
I go to work.
That's true.
Okay. So there's I can share this full list with you, but, really tech to art to music, our hide tanning class is a hit and lots of our kids have lots of opportunities. We also do this on you turn your sheet in first, you get first priority. So there's some personal responsibility there. And some of our students have felt that this year. So I think they'll probably be first to turn in their forms next year. And then some new things, Mr. Conover is providing math counts extensions during our win time, which is 4th period on Wednesdays or Fridays. And then Miss Vickery is gonna start providing a time during that win time on Thursdays to provide a GT extension period. We're still figuring out the identification benchmarks for that, and our GT grant through the state got returned for revision. So once we have those funds is when we will travel with the GT team, and then we will be able to finalize our plan But it's really important that you take your benchmarking seriously for GT, so you're not qualifying students that should not be qualified for GT before we pass them to the high schools. But just shout out to our team for providing all of these opportunities. These are like a labor of love from our staff, so lots of what they do teach is something that they're passionate about, so that can be transferred to our kids. So it's not just checking boxes, it's how do we want to check, here's the box we have to check. How do we want to go about doing that? And that's what's maybe best for our students.
I wish I could take high ten. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff up there. What's big.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, you're welcome. That's last period. So if you guys ever wanted to pop in and see them in action, we're in trimester 2 right now. So almost halfway through trimester 2. So those are the offerings that you could pop in and check out.
Very cool.
How is Spanish being taught?
We're partnering with Montana Digital. Okay. Miss Ogden, do you want to comment about that?
So I will be like the facilitator. It's through Montana Digital Academy. About 12 students that are in that. It starts next week. So this little gap time that we had in between the two, we've been doing some screen painting and wood burning. We're a little different. And then, yeah, they're all really excited to get started. So it's all online.
Is it videos or is there a live teacher?
It's a live teacher,
Oh,
and
wow.
then she and I will communicate and.
That's cool.
So it's kind of a partnership of self-paced with her videos / some time that she is directing kids, and then Miss Ogden's role in that is to make sure they're keeping up with their work for that class, since we do not have a world languages certified teacher at our school. So we might have teachers that speak a language, that does not mean they're certified to teach that, which is why we have to, for accreditation, partner with something like the Digital Academy. And Miss Ogden was willing to do that. She's also partnered with Miss Major for some cultural immersion days and like in-person speaking. And that is gonna be a special like third grade Cougar Buddy time where we're just immersing everybody then in Spanish for a bit and culture sharing.
Does the Digital Academy allow for any other foreign languages?
They do have French, so this was the elected one from our kids. Which is kind of nice since they'll all be doing the same work and can start talking to each other. But, yeah. It'd be kind of cool. Substitutes, good news. Last year we had 8. This year we have 16. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It's been a really big deal. So the third and fourth day of school, I had to sub because we did not have substitutes. Now I have only had to do that one time. I elected to do it another time. It was just kind of fills my bucket a bit. But the fact that we've had 3 days of unfilled subs then is pretty special. When I started, something that was talked about is when we pull paras from title groups or extra support in the classrooms, that strains classroom teachers. And we've not done that this year, at least for a full day. We might pull a period or 2. But it is really nice to not have to alter everyone's schedules just because we can't find a sub. Our substitutes, new and returning, have been great. We appreciate them, and I've heard really good feedback from our substitutes about our classes, on average. And we could always use more though. So if you hear, just keep spreading the word, because some will choose to not return next year, and we just need to keep our pool robust and not get back to a place where we're having to pull internally and fill. I just wanted to remind the board that that is, however, one of the caveats of hiring our newest para hire. Is the idea is, while we might not need that full-time staff member, the idea is that we have a built-in substitute in our schedule. So we don't have a full-time extra. We did need probably a 0.8 hire to fill our needs in our sped caseload and what we need to offer. However, it is nice to have a buffer and somebody who could get pulled and not topple the entire schedule if necessary. So lots of school districts are actually doing that, and we've kind of helped pave the way for that. Next up, is I told her today that you're getting one of those small school really long titles. So our title / kindergarten / testing coordinator, Amy Iverson.
Just keeps growing.
Yeah. And more.
We lost your screen.
That one was on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, PTSD.
So.
I'll try to talk slow, but I get nervous and this. I think there was a friend of us were not. Then I have a copy of it, I apologize, you give me one.
Everybody in the back.
You can write, you
I
can
can
keep
write
up.
We don't go.
I go to work, I talk to nobody.
Just going to do shit. You guys want me up there, so
One
okay if I
day a week.
stay, what do you guys prefer? Yeah, whatever you
Are you gonna want a point though?
I mean, you know me,
I think you're gonna want a point.
Yeah,
head on up then.
yeah.
Bring the Iverson to the front, please. Like,
Yeah.
I know, like, one of it's different. One of those.
You got this.
Alright. So some of this, this is our Ames Web data and just the title program. So just really appreciative of how you guys are supporting the title program. We can go to the next slide. So I kind of just wanted to think of some like title goals and like the purpose and kind of like what I foresee and what I would like it to see it grow. So title, we look at our Ames Web data that we do in September. When we do that data in September, it's usually like the second week of school, because we want to see where they come in and from either if they were like first grade to see maybe some of the skills they might have lost over the summer, the skills they might have grown over the summer, kind of figure out where our kinders are. And then we can start the pullouts and filling those gaps where we need to right away instead of waiting a month's testing. So we start that in September, and the big goal is what I really love to see is we want to get those students, if we can support them within the classroom, we'll put a para in there and try to keep them in the classroom as best needed. Otherwise, we will pull them out into a small group with, most of the time with the reading, it's with me. Sometimes it may be with a para. But my big goal is to close that gap fast, get them back in the classroom. And we work aligned with the teachers as well, so we're not pulling while they're still gaining their other levels. They're not missing out on their normal classroom work either. Also just, I help the teachers if they need it, just helping differentiate any lessons for them. And then as we continue to grow and see a decrease in the number of students that might need student support for the tier 3, which is our lowest level, then we can start working more and adding more to those higher students that need more advanced work. Okay. Just a kind of quick recap of our programs. Again, thank you for the board for allowing the purchase of these. SIPS reading program is the big one that I use. I love this program. I've got to learn it very well. I've went through a lot of trainings with it. We see a lot of growth with the SIPS reading program. You can see if a student does it with the whole year, you can close a 1.5-year gap with a full year of doing the SIPS program. The SIPS program, we use it for reading. I also use it for writing. Sometimes I'll tailor it a little bit to comprehension, but it's more working on that decoding and encoding skills where they're trying to stretch the words apart for reading and then putting them back together for spelling. That one is one that I just continue running through their program, but students might move in and out. Like I might have this student and in 2-3 months, they're back in the classroom and I fill that spot with another student, and it's very interchangeable. There are some of my groups now that we have kind of not too many who are what we call our yellows and our reds who are in the lower tiers, tier 2, tier 3. So now I'm able to pull in some of our on grade levels that might just have some small gaps within the classroom.
and close those little gaps so then they can continue growing and not continue falling behind. The Read Live program, that one right now is ran by, I have my para set up for that one. It is kind of, each student can do it on their own. It is a digital program, but then they also reach with a para or a teacher, and we have to pass them. We get to see what their fluency level is, how much they're reading. Then they also have to answer questions, find the main idea, add the details. They also have to write a retell of the story. So this is my big piece for comprehension skills. And then once they're starting to do better with their comprehension, then we start tailoring it toward more sentence structure as well as spelling. And we really can do a lot with this program. So we utilize it depending on the student. So I make a spreadsheet for every student and what we are working on for those goals for that student. So then people know kind of what we're trying to get. This is used through grades 3, 4, 5, and the middle school is starting to use this program also during their win time. Bridges, so far for the math program, a lot of our gaps in math, we've been able to put a para in the room. So they are closing those gaps with the classroom work that they're doing. I'm just now currently to start a couple students on the Bridges program just to tailor in and get into those little bigger gaps that they need to get filled in order to continue going through the classroom. Classroom support, this is where it's really cool because this year we have a para in K through 5, we have a para for 30 minutes in every classroom, able to support during reading and math, and we also have some that are able to do the writing. So that allows teachers to break into small groups, and then students get to be with the teacher, then they go to the para, and then they might have like an individual on their own type group too. So then we can really differentiate the needs on what the students need at that time. So it's super cool to have the amount of paras that we have in order so we can do this, because not every year we are able to get someone in the classroom to help support the teachers. So shout out to the paras because they are amazing. They do a lot here. They wear a lot of hats, and I rely on them a lot too with my title program. It's gone. Teachers will help utilize them and set them up to help modify different assignments within their groups. So like if we have teachers usually will set this is kind of a combo, shout out to paras and shout out to teachers, which is my next one, but they work really well together. So the teachers will set something up for the paras to be like, this is what this group are struggling in or need. This is like our own levels and this is where they really need. These are our highs and this is how we can extend our lesson. And then they are able to set that up and hand it to the paras and know that the paras are doing it well and can do a great job in it. Our paras, Kaylee, Tana, Emily, Kim, and Tammy, they are always up asking, how can I help? If they see even me loaded, like, hey, what can I do that you can pass on so you can continue working on this? So they're really good at helping out where it's needed. Their dedication and their love is for every student in the school. They help with that every kid, every day mentality. And I just love this little saying that it's like a beautiful silent dance happens between a teacher and a para because it's a quick nod across the room, shared we've got this look during a chaotic moment, and the mutual respect that makes the classroom feel like a family. Because sometimes you can just give them a look and they know exactly what you need to do or what you want to be done, and it can be done so you can continue doing what you need to do. So it's just a really good setup. And thank you for all the paras because they've been amazing. Ready? And then for the teachers, middle school's been doing amazing. They have been doing a lot of their own differentiations within that win time, as well as in the classroom for either our title students or as well as our advanced students. Again, with the K-5 teachers, same thing. They are using their classroom support pair as well. They always have something for them to work on, or they're running a station, and they are dividing their groups as well with skill levels to make sure every student is getting what they need at the time, whether it's extra support or more challenging assignments. And then our team, we used to meet bi-weekly. We just switched it to only meeting once a week. We call it the SST meeting, Student Success Team. And we just collaborate to look through our scores because Ames Web's just a chunk of it. So we'll look at the scores, see where those needs are. Then we'll hear what the classroom and what the teachers are seeing and see what those needs are. And so we try to support everybody and it's gonna be. I mean, and so it's a really good time to collaborate with one another and I love those meetings. Sometimes, a lot of times we run out of time because I feel like we could continue to grow and discuss more and more about each student. But right now, we're slowly starting to tailor it to once a month, and then in the spring, we'll start collaborating, like I'll have in my SST meal, the first grade and like the second grade teacher. So the second grade teacher can hear about the kids moving up into their classroom, so we start doing that in the springtime. Okay, now I think we're to the, almost to the data, we're getting there. So
Which
the
is really
data,
exciting.
we're building, yeah. So to the data, getting there. So fall to winter students, I have a very long, beautiful colored spreadsheet to keep my track of what my students are, where their gaps are, what tier they're in, what program they're running, who they're being, who is helping them with that program or supporting them in those needs. So this is just kind of a breakdown just to kind of see like where we've started and how we are growing and improving. SIPs in the number, the whole kindergarten class, since I'm one of the teachers, they get to deal with me doing title also in there, and it's been really fun to navigate how to do SIPs as a whole class because it's more tailored to a small group. So it's been super fun and to play around with that. Read Life is also one where we will have students come and go. So the numbers sometimes on those two, you won't see a lot of shift. Classroom math support has improved a lot. We started at 36, now we're at 13 that need the support. I'm not saying that all those guys are still receiving the support. It's just those are the ones that are still needing the support, but none actually got changed. You know what I mean? Sorry. Bridges, now so far I've had 2 that I've just started last week with the Bridges curriculum. So we started out with 36 title students and now we're down to 23 in the K through 5 grade band that are considered and qualify for title services. And then for 6 through 8, reading class support, they were at 15, reading class support down to 11, math. The students have varied a lot. The number hasn't changed much, but the students have. So the total number for title students is 18, is the same, but those students they have definitely changed. So we've dropped down for school-wide 54 down to 41, which I feel like is a great number for only being a few months into the school year. So this is great growth for us. Here's the data. So you guys, some of you might remember this. It's the same spreadsheet that I used yesterday for the new people. This is how I kind of divide it. So well below average, the 1 or 10th percentile, those would be considered our tier 3 students. The yellow, the below average, 11 to 25% is what I would consider our 2-tier students. And then average, the green, the teal, and the blue, those are like the teal is on grade level, above average is just a little above, and then well above is, just above their grade level. And so I have how many we have started in every class, the total number of students, and then you can kind of see the growth across. And then I also put down the percentiles down here, just because sometimes the percents are nicer to look at. But I was super happy to see the changes with the percents from like 24 down to 18%, as well as the 75, and then that one actually went up to 81, almost 82%. And then the next slide shows it in a graph form, so it might be easier for you guys to look at. But it's the same thing. You got your tier 3 orange down here, tier 2, and then at or above grade level. And so that is our growth in our reading for our ELA.
Well done.
And then kind of the same thing with math. Oh, I cut the side off, I'm sorry. I don't have the kinder 1, 2, 3 on the picture. I went over this a lot, find my mistakes. So of course, tops K 1, 2, 3, and so on. Math, great growth. We went from a 25% below average and lower to 15%. And then we went up 10% with our average and above grade level percent. So it's a really great growth and I kind of looked at goals for title schools and a lot of them are saying they would like to see a 10% growth within their year. And to me, I'm like, no, I want to see it sooner and we're working our way there, so. And so if we go to the next one, it's that better graph that I think you like to see it that way as well. But I feel like we're running smoothly, we're on the right track, and this really makes me excited for the spring scores, so. This winter benchmarking, we do it, this year we did it before Christmas break, so we did kind of the beginning of December, because we're trying to find that happy balance of when to do it with masked on top of it, as well as this, because our students are getting a lot of testing. So this year we did do it a little before Christmas break. Next year, I think we're gonna shoot for more January for the winter benchmarking. The spring benchmarking, we usually do in May. We don't have like a set month quite yet. We're gonna do it towards the end of April, or if we're gonna do it more in May, because again, we're balancing that massed assessment window as well.
Are these the same numbers that you presented to us last year?
These
Or
are
not the same numbers, but the same
the same
benchmarks?
Yep,
Yeah.
the same thing, just with the new numbers for this year.
Yeah.
And I did not put on here last year's numbers at all.
Oh, you did, okay. That's a huge improvement though.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, is there a big improvement from last year
Yes.
that you've seen?
Mm-hmm. Like usually in my TEDRA program, I usually have a lot of students. I don't have that many that are in need this year. So it's been kind of great just to see kids that when I see them in the spring and know where they've come from and the growth, and knowing that they no longer need that title support because they can do it on their own is always my favorite, to watch them grow throughout the years.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say, our numbers where the kids sit on below average, average, above average, way above average, those numbers are significantly higher, aren't they, than last year?
Like the percentiles, the percentiles are the same, as just based on on the norms scores from the nationals.
But I mean, aren't our scores much higher
Yes.
than what they were last year compared to?
And I could pull up the other one, but I believe, yes, they
I
are.
think there's.
And how did they compare to national?
That's what these are, so like that, the well above average, that score range that they give us is like where the majority of our national, where the students, like, so since we have a decent, like if we only have, sorry, let me think about this. Cause I can't, like, I have called, like, I think, so last year I called District 5 to figure out kind of like how we compare to other district schools. But in order for me, like, those aren't, we don't get to see those. They're not online for us, and Ames Web doesn't share other data from other schools. And so they come up with those numbers. I would have to call like individual schools to kind of see what they're at, so then we could get that comparison throughout from school to school.
So do you track it? So this is within a year. Do you also track year over year?
I keep all my data from last year. I still have it like on my spreadsheet. I just start like a new tab, so I could always kind of go back. I don't have those numbers fresh in my head right now.
That's okay.
But yeah.
It would be cool to see a comparison.
Yeah.
If it's not like.
I have the last 5 years,
Okay.
because that's when I started doing
It would just be cool to see kind of like the progression, like this year was better and then we kind of slid back a little bit. Now we're way up here.
Mm-hmm.
We changed this. Like, it would be cool to see that, because I really see the value in this program. And I think you do a great job.
Thank you.
Teaching this. I like to see the data to kind of know where we're going. You know, where we're going. And also it'd be cool to see how other schools are doing.
Yeah.
Well, and it would.
That's the hard part with Ames Web. you
Right,
know?
like you almost have to have a contact.
Like I do have one I could contact and see if she minds if I share their scores or not.
Yeah,
I
but
think
as
when
far
we
as
start
that,
getting that pinpointy though of comparing district to district, we're gonna do ourselves a disservice. I think we're gonna need to compare our data nationally.
Yeah.
Because when we're seeing a 10% growth rate from fall to winter, that's what we should be focusing on. Like
Yeah.
you can't fudge the data.
Right.
That is what it is.
And
So
what really matters is what's here and how it's happening here and what the result is with it. So I guess just for my own, not even peace of mind, just understanding of how the program is working. It'd be cool to see kind of just year over year numbers.
Well, what I would find interesting about that is, since a lot of the kids are the same kids year after year, you could see where they go
Where the
in the next class.
Mhm.
And it does change, like.
It changed.
From a teacher perspective, right? When you're looking at seventh grade this year, that was your sixth grade last year.
Yeah.
You get a whole group of new students who have had some loss over the summer. And you do see that loss up front. Winter benchmarking, for some reason, it always is a tough one for me as a math teacher. Because kids are ready to go. I don't know what it is, but I actually see. Just over doing this for a few years, I see a little bit of, not as much improvement. I actually tend to see more in the spring. I mean, like when they're.
That's why I'm excited for the spring.
But you're comparing a different set of kids
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah,
You're not
right.
getting the same group of kids from sixth grade to sixth grade. So it is a different group with its own struggles.
That's why
And
the
so,
trending helps
yeah.
us, because we can identify like, oh, well, we'll remember that was the fourth grade that
I'd
struggled.
say
and then-
last year we had a couple grades out were big red flags we were concerned about.
Yeah, and so we tend to remember them in groups like that, where we go like, how's it, no, fifth grade, or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
they were third grade last year. What's fourth grade look
Yeah.
like this year?
Yeah.
Following that same.
If we do this again, we could do like the spring of 24-25, comparable to this coming up spring.
And you can just shoot us last year's numbers in an email if you know you're gonna do this, and then we can front load ourselves, so we don't have to sit here like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I do have all that. I don't have it as pretty in the last 5 years. I have it this pretty in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Cause the rest was all on paper and we've switched from Ames Web. We were at Star and now we're at Ames Web.
Yeah.
So when we did that when we switched is when I started.
Even if it's just, these are the belows, these are the
Mhm.
at or above percentages.
Yeah,
By
it's
grade,
fun to see it.
it's really
Yeah.
nice to be able to see it.
Okay.
We don't want you to spend 100 hours.
Yeah, please don't.
Please don't spend 100 hours working.
Please keep.
You gotta go snowmobiling.
Yeah.
Well, we need snow. So, but thank you guys for all your support. I really appreciate it.
Sammy? So Amy talked a bit about our student success team meetings. That is, so what the data you just saw is one portion of kind of a triangulation of what that student success team meeting should be discussing. So it should be our academics. It should also be behavior, and it should be our personal narratives of what we're seeing in them as kind of a human, as a cougar, how are they, like all the rest. So that's the triangulated data. We are working really hard this year to get our behavioral data on point. So this can be a two-prong presentation to you. That is not going to happen by the end of, it could happen by the end of this school year, but it wouldn't be like a year over year. By next school year, our grade bands right now are turning their behavior data tracking into something that's aligned with our pause. So, like how many middle school uses refocus forms when we're in middle school. So I'm like, we'll talk about those, but they've already aligned their refocus forms. So everything that's being selected is, respectful, safe, working hard, or all those things. That is what we'll start talking about when we go to our student success team meetings. We do have 2 at the beginning of the year, a month, and then that is a little bit, it's not excessive. We could talk about kids all day, but they are from 8 to 8:15 since that's teachers' contractual time right now. And the bell rings at 8:13. So we really have 13 minutes of talking about kids twice a week if everybody is on time. And we've learned that we definitely need to adhere to being done on time. That is not a lot of time to talk about kids. So, one of our next items is actually talking about upcoming meetings, but that's what we need to be keeping in mind when we're talking about negotiations and we're talking about calendar committee. What time are we leaving for us to have those meaningful conversations about our kids? And this is multi-tiered support system and positive behavioral intervention system. So we have connected our positive awards, which is like caught you being goods, to our pause. Everything's getting aligned to pause. And that's gonna be how we roll out everything year over year, starting next year. Everybody's been really great about just jumping in this year, but it is a lot. We have moved our student success team meetings, like Amy said, to once a month, but that's because we've added a grade band meeting where it's just the teachers and myself for us to talk about whatever needs to be talked about. That's K-5. And then 6-8 is gonna start meeting every week, cause we have not been having formal SST meetings on our middle school. But it became really clear we need to make time. We don't have time with all of them having a different prep, etc. And then, so if you think about 6 grades, and then we did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every other week, that takes up the whole month. So there was no other time before school to have a middle school team meeting, cause it would have to be 3. So therefore, we've come up with a portion of our schedule where it's like a working lunch meeting every week, and anybody is welcome to come to that. But that's where we even just hammer out, how are we running ski day? Who's chaperoning? How are we using refocus forms? Making sure we're all using them the same. So I'm not giving them out for kids not completing work, but somebody doesn't think that that should be a refocus form. So all the data is gonna be aligned and have the same idea. But that in a nutshell then is kind of partnering with the data. We don't need to be a totally data-driven school. It's not all about the numbers, but it is way more meaningful when we say, well, this kid is always doing this, or they're always doing that, or they're never on time. Well, actually, they're on time 3 days out of 10. So you lose all of your momentum when you're talking about those bookends of that. Like, we need actual data to support what we're talking about. So, our refocus forms and our behavioral data is also going to be partnered with a lot more meaningful parent communication. So your student had 3 refocus forms last week. We just want you to be aware of what they are. I'm gonna pass the phone to, can't think of a name that's not a name right now. Let's say Billy Bob. And he is going to explain to you why he has received 3 or more refocus forms this week and how they're going to plan to do better in the coming week. That's at a middle school level, and then at a younger level, they would just be with me and I would be making that phone call and doing the talking on speakerphone. But I think that we're missing a crucial point right now in that positive parent pressure, rather than calling when it's just not like it's catastrophic. So we have awesome parents. They love to partner, and we just need to open the door a bit for them to do that with us behaviorally, with data, not bookends. So I think everybody's pretty on board with that. It is a lot of work, but it does feel good when we can come back and look at, I might have Amy and Dana come present something next month behaviorally, but the data is pretty cool behaviorally when we're talking about this, you've seen this before, but behavior piece is coming. A YBGR update for you. So not something that needs to go on an information item, but Ashley Atkins, our school-based therapist, did resign, and her last day was before Christmas break. She's chosen to go private practice. So YBGR has opened up that position. They are in their hiring process, which we are not a part of, because that is you just get our space. We partner with you with kids. However, before they would be out here, we would do a meet and greet and a best fit, and they might be placed somewhere else and have somebody else come. But for right now, they've done a little bit of shifting as a business, and Chastity's title is no longer behavior specialist. It's actually family support specialist, which does serendipitously work better with this need to have just her in running our program. So nothing's actually changed in our program, with the exception of some of those kids not having the extra therapeutic time. The caseload is the same, but our kids are still gonna have their groups and their sessions with Chastity. And our families still come in once a month. So just wanted to give you guys that update. And then the rest of our hiring update, we've kind of already talked about. There are applicants for our custodian position. And then all of our new hires this year, I feel have settled right in and don't feel like new hires really. And kudos to them for joining the team. Kudos to our already team for accepting them in. And I don't even have to ask people to mentor. It's just kind of happening. And oh, yeah, forgot to tell you about that. Sorry. Like should have an onboarding manual, which is on the way behind the scenes, but we don't have it yet. So when we find those, whoops, yep, that would have been nice. We just write it down now so that we have that ready to go for next school year. But really proud of our team and all the people that have joined it. So, end report.
Trustee nomination update.
So today, we have two positions open, Amanda and Nick. Today, we have had one complete form turned in, ready to go. So that's where we're at.
I'm sorry.
It's open knowledge. So the person who has turned it in is Nick.
Here I am.
I just like took a sigh of relief and was like, that's me done. But
And so how elections work, so if we get one more and then nobody else applies, then we can cancel the election. If I get two more applicants, then we have to have an election. If I get zero more, then what'll happen is, you will appoint somebody for a 1 year. So each trustee position is a 3-year term. So you'll appoint somebody for 1 year. Then after that 1 year, then you'll have an election for a 2-year term and to finish off that
At
3-year.
regularly scheduled.
Yep.
Kind of like how you had a 1 year term.
Okay, that's how it works. That's where we're at. And next month, I don't have it, I can't see it right now, but it's the deadline. at the end of the month, so.
Is it on our sign? Yeah,
no.
because I know that's how I found out about it. It was on the sign.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can, it's an option to advertise. It is not required by law. Because it is.
We have
just-
posted.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean, we've posted it like,
on agendas.
yes,
In the required places we have posted it.
Yes,
that's what I was trying to think
Yeah.
of.
Yes.
What is the correct wording of, yes,
yes, we have followed the law in posting our position.
gotcha. Okay.
All right. Thank you for that. Absolutely posted ourselves. Committee meetings.
Oh,
I looked right.
It's you, right? I was there the first day. Like, I picked it up.
Anyway, upcoming committee meeting.
Well, so part of our tabled is I'm meeting with Smith Valley Fire Hall. Chief Amy will be there to meet me tomorrow morning. And she is going to consult on our emergency operations plan with me prior to bringing that to our full committee meeting. It has still been a struggle to get the sheriff's department. They have one person who helps schools, so all the rural schools that go to the sheriff's department, they have one person designated to do all of that. She currently has our EOP draft in her hands, and then we're just coordinating a time. They will not be able to be at our January 22nd meeting together, but I am hoping that Chief Amy will from the fire hall. So, we'll at least have feedback from Paula Sullivan with the sheriff's department by our 22nd meeting. The hope was to have both first responder groups present and all of us kind of roundtable what we're gonna need to do. That's just become really difficult and part of this tabled process. We're getting to the point where we might just need to take the fire hall and up on their offer to come in and then the sheriff's department consult and then move forward for the year. Cause I would love to have this in the staff's hands to round table and then to the full board, for final approval. So that people could take it with them over the summer and then we can train on it when we return for our PIR days. And I feel like we might be running out of time to do that. Either way, it will be more user friendly and more specific than it currently is. So we'll be in a better place at the start of next school year, one way or the other. That committee's had a really large lift this year, so shout out to them. Their next meeting is January 22nd. We do have a curriculum committee meeting scheduled for January 28th. That is sort of to compile everything that we are currently using. And then actually have a really good conversation about what we're using versus what we're supplementing. And then purchasing, like maybe there's something somebody wanted from Teachers Pay Teachers, and then we're making copies of that instead of this curriculum that we have purchased. So we really have to hammer in before we start to have our budget meetings. What are we using and what are we paying for that we are not using, that we're actually double paying for in copy expenses?
No board members on that.
Curriculum.
Okay.
I've done quite a few committee invites this weekend, last week, so I didn't have
I
that.
got the committee invite.
Perfect. I would love to have a calendar committee meeting, and that is scheduled for February 10th. So those of you that are on the committee have been invited to that. We do have the 26, 27 spring break dates, which is really all we need for having our own calendar set. And I know that people like to have that as far in advance as possible. We need to balance that with time to make sure we have time in our calendar for staff to have time together. So I think it will be a couple meetings where we'll need to figure out what that looks like, but hoping to have that done by spring break is always my goal, or had always been my goal. So hopefully that can turn into the goal of the committee. That's usually when everybody likes to start planning things and thinking about next year. And then the next one, we do need to have a budget committee meeting at some point. That is to talk about kind of where we're at with curriculum, what we're going to do, but also some other pieces as far as enrollment numbers. And we do not have a filled middle school teacher position this year. And we need to decide what we're going to do with that. And or pivot to a different direction that might get us higher enrollment. So all those things I think needs to go through the budget committee first, so we understand the financial implications, and then that information could be brought to the board for a decision on what we're going to put out for a hire for next year. So lots of committee meetings coming up. And those are only the ones that are attached to the board. So there's other things happening too.
Our next board meeting. Let's pull the calendar. February 11th at 3:30.
No problems here.
Alright, I would take a motion to adjourn the meeting. I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.